A Republican street captain on every single street. We need to have a Republican precinct captain in every precinct. We need to have a Republican representative in every single college, in every single high school, in every single church, in every single community across the state of California. Now, I don't come empty-handed. I have 50,000 volunteers statewide. There's 5 million Republicans. I guarantee you, there's a Republican on almost every single street that would gladly be the Republican street captain. Len, would you be the Republican street captain on your street? I love it. So here's what we're going to do for Len. When Travis Allen is your chairman, the Republican Party is going to send Len a box of cards. It's going to say Leonard Olds, Republican Street Captain. The box of cards costs us 15 cents. But what have we just done? We've now empowered Len on his street, in his community, to be the official Republican street captain for that area. We're going to send him a box of voter registration cards that we get free from the state. We're going to send him emails daily, weekly, telling him how to message, what the topics of the day are, things to say, how to convince people. All of this is all free. We'll give you chat groups, we'll give you text messages, we'll give you local meetups, all of these things, all free, no cost to do. And Len will now be empowered because we're going to give him the information of the other Republicans on his street. We say, Len, I don't know if you knew, but there's 6 other Republicans on your street. Here's their names. You say, yeah, I know this guy and that girl and this other person, but I don't know these other 3. We'll go knock on their door and say, I'm the Republican street captain. And he's going to go knock on their door. And they say, wow, that's really cool. I thought we were alone on the street, but now we're not alone. Then next, we're going to send them a list of all the low-hanging fruit, the declined state voters that might lean Republican. We're going to say, go knock on their doors next. And when you go knock on their door, say, hi, I'm Leonard Olds. I'm a Republican because I believe in better schools. I believe in safer communities. I believe in lower taxes. I believe in less traffic. I believe in strong borders, and I believe, in anything else you happen to believe in, it's a Republican value. If you share any of these values, you may be a Republican as well. And by the way, for your presidential primary in March of 2020, we now have a built-in statewide ballot harvesting army, the likes of which the Democrats have never seen. That is how we win. And yeah, you should go ahead and clap for that. Right? Yeah, now think about this idea. There are some people that would tell you that this idea is nuts. But the idea of organizing and winning in California, there's no way it can ever happen because our demographics have changed, right? We're too far down and it's never coming back. There was actually an article written by one of the Republican leaders who said because of the change in demographics in California, specifically because the decline of one of the particular demographic groups in California, this has caused Republicans to leave the state and they're never coming back. And so you might as well give up because it takes at least a generation to change demographics, right? Well, I read this. It was a national article and I was offended. You see, because the concept of judging someone by the content or the color of their skin rather than the content of their character is inherently un-Republican. We are the party that freed the slaves. We're the party that doesn't see color, right? We're the party that believes in common sense. It's the Democrats that believe in identity politics. They're the ones that tell you because you believe something, like this person, or this ethnic group, that you have to be protected. You have to be different, treated differently. That's not us. We believe in e pluribus unum, out of many, one. Together, our strength is that all men are created equal. So think about this for a moment. If the argument that changing demographics meant that Republicans are going to lose in California, why do they register more Latino Republicans in Texas than they do in California? How are Latinos in Texas any different than they are in California? The answer is, they're not. We're all the same. There's another very simple proof that goes further than this. From 1998 to 2018, there have been many governor's races. In every single one of them, the Republican governor candidate got between 38% and 42% in every single race. Let's baseline that and call it 40%. For the last 20 years, baseline to 40%. The only difference was Schwarzenegger got 48% and 55%, right? Everybody else, 38 to 42, let's call it 40%. That is despite changing demographics and voter registration declined from 37% down to 24%. So if those things actually matter, why are voters still voting for Republicans at the top of the ticket at 40% level? It means that they might be calling themselves something different, but they're still voting for values and ideals at the top of the ticket, right? All we've got to do is get 15% more registration. Very simply, the plan is this. We deserve a Republican Party that is not Republican-like. We deserve a Republican Party that does not look and sound more like the Democrats. Because if we sell out our values, there's nothing to believe in. We will get no support. We must have a Republican Party that believes in our values, that believes in our ideals, we must have a Republican Party that, shockingly, must support our Republican president, right? Who here voted for Donald Trump? There you go, right? Now think about this. This doesn't mean that there's not room in the party for moderates and conservatives, people that love the president, and people that hate the president. Everybody's welcome. If you agree with us more than you disagree with us, you're a Republican. However, the party itself has to stand for our values, and we have to stand for a Republican president. So number one, we organize the state with a Republican Party that looks and sounds like a Republican Party. We pay for a statewide voter registration program that turns into a ballot harvesting army by getting $10 a month from 100,000 people, which means we dramatically change all of the finances across the state. But what does all that matter if the Democrats are going to steal elections from us with ballot harvesting and voter fraud, right? What does all that matter? If the California DMV last year admitted to 25,000 illegal voter registrations, including non-citizens registered to vote, who's gone to jail? Where's the court case? When I am your Republican chairman, the California Republican Party will aggressively pursue election fraud in federal court, all the way to the Supreme Court if necessary. And I will tell you right now, we will root out election fraud, and we will be the party that believes that if you are a California citizen, your vote will count. That's a value that is not Democrat, it's not Republican, it's not declined state, it's just an idea that makes sense. And by the way, last I checked, we got a couple Supreme Court justices and we might get a third, so I think we got a pretty decent shot. So we organize the state, we register new voters, we now have ballot harvesting. By the way, ballot harvesting should be illegal, but we can't change that in the next 14 months. We better get better at it than the Democrats do. We root out election fraud across California in federal court all the way. So when someone asks you, what is your Republican Party doing for you, Tasso, you're going to say very simply, the Republican Party is pursuing election fraud. I mean, haven't you watched the news? And we'll win. Think about this. We've created a statewide army. We are registering more Republicans. We're organized across state. We've gotten rid of election fraud. How do we actually change California? Well, sooner or later, incrementally, we'll start to win races because there'll be more Republicans. But you know what? It's going to happen faster than that because Gavin Newsom is going to do something dumb. In his first 2 weeks, he already tried to implement a water tax, right? He's going to go after your property taxes next. He's going to tell you that we need state government financed healthcare, which essentially means you got to go to the DMV to see your doctor, right? I don't know what it's going to take, but he's going to do something so foolish that the California people are going to rise up. At that point, the Republican Party must be ready to recall Newsom and all of the rest of the Democrats, just like we did to Gray Davis in 2003, just like we did to Josh Newman in 2018. I will tell you right now, we run a successful recall, you change California overnight, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So listen, guys, it's a very simple, straightforward plan that says it's time for us to fight in the state of California. We have county central committees that have been drained of membership. We have precincts and streets that have absolutely no representation. It's no wonder that we lose because we're so far behind the curve of the Democrats. They've outplanned, outstrategized, outspent the Republicans and out-executed us at nearly every single turn. It's about time that we start fighting. It's about time we start doing the hard work for which there is no substitute that it will take to win once again. I'll tell you right now, I don't come to the table empty-handed. I bring donors, I bring messaging, I bring volunteers. This is our state. It's about time we take it back. My name's Travis Allen. That's exactly what we're going to do. Thank you all so very much. Yeah, I'd love to take some land in California. We can build anywhere. We can build in the middle of the desert, Palm Springs, right? We can do it wherever we want to. It's the government restrictions that have stopped us from doing that. Now, I want to bring up a point, though, because we talked about this subset, right? Latinos. Where, there's a log cabin Republican meeting. This is the strength of the Republican Party. I was just at a meeting in LA a couple hours ago, and someone was saying, how do we unite and unify the Republican Party? Well, those are actually two different things. The first thing is that when I become your chairman, immediately we get to work. The only way to bring diverse groups together is give them something to do that's productive and they can see success. That's register more Republicans and organize the entire state. But there's a second part of that. How do you unify the Republican Party? How do you make sure we're all marching in lockstep, the exact same beat? That's never going to happen, and nor should it ever. If you take a look at the 2008 presidential race of Barack Hussein Obama, why was it so successful? Because it was massively successful. it was based on two themes, right? Hope and change. Obama set the tone from the very beginning, but he really didn't say very much. His supporters were encouraged to organically create their own messaging, create their own groups, and really own how you can grow an organization and grow a party into a majority party across the entire state. The philosophy is very straightforward. You don't have to agree with everything Republicans agree with, right? In order to be a Republican. If you agree with us more than you disagree with us, welcome to the party, right? Yeah. This is the big tenet that must be employed. And we all have to understand this is how we become a majority. But it gets different because there's an action step to this. How does that happen? You know, it's not enough for, you know, some talking head like myself to say this. It's not going to change anything. What changes it is this. Remember I talked about the street captains, right? And I talked about the precinct captains. I talked about the captains at schools and churches and all of the other groups, right? We want a representative inside every community. We don't have to plant them there. They're already there. I don't care how you want to define whichever community in California. I guarantee you there's already a Republican inside of it. All we need to do is empower them. Yes, we're going to send them a business card. Yes, we're going to send them talking points and connect them with other Republicans and show them how to message successfully on our common sense values. But you know what? Here's the real key. The real key is we will empower them to talk to the media. We're going to empower everybody. We're going to show them, here's how you talk to your local radio stations, your local TV, your local newspapers. And what the state should be doing is employing an army of press consultants, which gives you opportunities. Because you see, when Leonard gets up there and speaks as a representative of the Republican Party, he's going to talk about it differently than I am. But we're still singing off the same sheet of music. Same thing with Andrew, same thing with Tasso. And now we don't have to tell anyone that the Republican Party is the party of diversity. We simply show them. Because they look on their TV and they say, wait a second, that person is, you know, a young Asian gay Republican. And he's talking about things that make 100% sense to me. How could somebody try to characterize the Republican Party as anything other than the party of acceptance and diversity, right? Because you become the messenger. And this is actually how we win. A lot of people talk about, you know, minority outreach and more minority engagement. Instead, I talk about community engagement. We must empower the face of the party to be Aja Smith, who's a young black Republican veteran who ran for Congress, or Corinne Rankin, young black conservative out of Modesto, Antonio Sabato Jr., you know, a great-looking Italian American actor, Omar Navarro, who ran against Maxine Waters, right, a young Hispanic, aggressive, conservative guy. These become the face of the Republican Party. And think about this: every single day, there's hundreds of shows up and down the state, hundreds of articles that get written, and there's no Republican representation. When I first started in the California Assembly in 2012, I didn't have a chief of staff for the first year. I had a press secretary, right? That's how I got more earned media than anyone else in the entire state, and I still do to this day. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your Republican Party. You need to take ownership of it. You need to be invested in it. When I get $10 a month from every single one of those California 100,000 members, once they give $1, they're bought in. They're invested. This party becomes their party. Once I send Len that box of cards, he's bought in. He's our representative, which means the party is now Len's party. The Republican Party must be the party for every single Californian. Our baseline is truly at 40%. We just need another 15. And the great thing is, guys, we got the truth and common sense on our side, and the Democrats can't help themselves but screw everything up. All we got to do is be organized and ready to beat them, make sure they don't cheat at elections, and when the time finally comes, we'll recall them all, and California Republicans will once again be dominant in California.
See you at the convention. Please stick around. There's still some more to drink. Go ahead and mingle and everything, and you might stick around a little bit. Just
I will. I absolutely will. Yeah.
So,
I got